United States, one of the most quote unquote most powerful positions in the world. Okay, the world used.
How's everybody doing? Looking right here, Brandon. You know what? This show today that I'm doing this podcast, and you know what, man, people with the heavy response about Sanctuary City. But before we start give you a synopsis, what we're going to do is we're going to briefly talk about Mr. Kirk that got Charlie Kirk that got killed. Okay, so there will be violence for individuals that have different opinions, views. Okay, and secondly, we're going to talk about Sanctuary City. This is a big issue in Chicago. You know, I live in the Chicago area. I live in Chicago. And not only will this their precedence for what will be happening in New York and California. Also, these are the issues and the national guards. And you know what? But I'm going to start out with, and you know what? I never heard of it.
Me either.
The people that have heard of it, beautiful. You know, I've never heard of it. This is what the Divine Nine is. Let me put it in there.
Big regulation. Divine Nine refers to the National Panhellenic Council.
I don't even know why that is.
Oh, okay. That's something college related. Okay.
Get rid of this. So I'm not familiar with that. I'm not at all. But you know what? I'm gonna do some research on it. At least I would like to ask you. You believe that Mayor Johnson is a strong mayor? Okay. I would like to ask you something. What is the reason that a curfew law that has been put in effect for years is not being enforced? What is the reason that parents are not held responsible? And I'm going to play some of what Ron Emanuel says, okay?
On Sunday, Chicago's new curfew goes into effect. Curfews are in place to help protect our children, and police will be out enforcing the law. But parents and neighbors, we need your help protecting our children by making sure they are home safe where they belong.
And you know, I would like to ask you, the mayor is doing such a strong and diligent job. What is the reason that the curfew law is not being enforced and parents are not being held for the response to being held accountable for their children, our young people, our minors being out late at night? Can you expand upon that?
No, because I'm not a parent and you're a parent. You can probably answer that more, having raised it. It's what the parents, like they said, the kids have changed over the years. They're not the same kids like we were. They're respected. I've seen kids talk back to their parents and say stuff and this and that. And it was they had a issue up here at the Fat Burgers over here in Chatham.
Yes.
You see that? And
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, right now they're giving away free food. Early win one of the philanthropists from our community, and the lady said it. She said it starts at the home. It's how you raising your children. It starts at that home. At what age do they start trying to go out and say, okay, I'm going to stay at 10 and 12 until they get killed? Then it's like, and then you want to look at the parent like, what is your child doing out at 2 o'clock in the morning? Why are they in the alley?
ABC7 data shows at least.
So it's way beyond. You want to lay it in the mayor's lap. So, okay, were they enforcing it? And Rahm Emanuel said it himself. He said, parents and neighbors, we need your help. Some of these kids, you say something to, they're going to cuss you straight out. It's not like, and it's a disconnect in the communities because on my block we're pretty good. We know each other, but none of us have small children. Everybody's children are grown. And where the areas where you have a lot of young parents and this and that, and it starts there. The police department, they can enforce it. As I say, it's going to be a turnaround on how the kids are dealt with. And that's coming out of the criminal justice system of the county. That's coming out of the new Cook County State's Attorney. And now out of this new chief judge, we're going to have stepping in. Because a lot of that stuff they were allowing to happen in juvenile and in the Department of Corrections, it's about to be nipped. I know when Fox decided not to run again and she left, and I think that was wrong. They want to have a sympathy or empathy for their own black and brown, mostly black kids, because they know some of the things we face in the community. But you do it to a fault, because when you took down the charge of being for shoplifting, and you took it off not being a felony to a misdemeanor, you weren't helping the kids. You weren't helping the people to go out there and steal, because they were like, okay, this is a slap on the wrist, where felony might make some people think a second time, but we can't, where they're enforcing it on Lightfoots. We're trying to do it. Rahm Emanuel spoke on it, on trying to do it under his administration, curfew. But and he said it. He said we need help from the parents and the community. Now, community-wise, I'm 64. I'm not going to get my head busted because I'm trying to tell some young kid to go home. If you're like, who the are you? And I'll do this to you if you don't go on in your house.
So let me ask you, so do you essentially agree with Mayor Johnson of Chicago when it comes to not being stiffer with penalties and fines and parents being held responsible, and said we have to sort of take it easy on these kids, tying up downtown, doing it? You agree with that?
No, but there's other things we can do other than putting a curfew. That's all they saw the solution. Don't bring it down here. You can take it to 31st Street. You can take it to Bronxville. Just don't bring it downtown.
Okay.
That was the solution that they pretty much wanted. They do arrest some of them, and the parents come and get them. I mean, I'm assuming the parents have to go and pick them up. Parents need to be held accountable. They're not adult and still out of your house, 18 to 21 or whatever. So how about we gonna give you this and you come to court? Just stepping aside and here, take them home. And I don't know what kind of talk they have with them, but then they right back at it again. And I don't know, like they said, social media is so toxic. This right here, this internet, this social media, I don't do it much because it is very toxic. And whoever calls those, because I got a girlfriend whose son, he gets the ding to let them know what they're going to do to take over or whatever they call it. I don't know who's controlling that. Like I said, it's coming through social media.
So let me ask you something. In your opinion, is the mayor, I can't put the governor in on it, Governor Pritzker. He's doing, in your opinion, is he doing a effective job with the curfew law being observed? Is he doing a great job?
Well, again, I don't even know what the curfew law is, that you must be in at a certain time if you're the age or something.
Yeah.
Well, okay. He can go on and say we're going to enforce it. Do you have the manpower to enforce it? How do you enforce it?
You hold the
That's
parents.
up to the parent. I can't tell a child to go in the house if your parent ain't telling you to be in my house. That starts at the house. You want to keep harping on the mayor. When we elected him as mayor, he's not the father, the grandfather, the everything for people got to step up and take responsibility. I know there's some things that fall with him, and because he took that job, they fall with him. But you keep harping on this. Did Rahm Emanuel do a good job with it? Because Laquan McDonald was out after a period of time at night when he got killed. Did Lightfoot? I don't know if they were starting to do this takeover stuff under her watch. So again, our parent structure. When you want to be a friend instead of a parent, big mistake. Or some parents are scared of their kids.
Okay. He's got somebody in here saying, Mr. Law said, like like you said, it all starts at home, and many have held themselves accountable for it. It's sad that Chicago is going downhill, but many have said it is bound to happen.
Said that is bound to happen. Well, it's what you make of your city. I've been here. I did a lot of traveling. I lived in Florida. I was in Memphis. Thank God I wasn't there at these times. I don't think I could have did the work that I was doing. I always wanted to come back home. I was glad to do the traveling. I was in California, and I was doing it on a job thing. But some places I stayed like 3 and 4 months, so I got to see a little bit of their town and a little bit more deeper of their culture. I'm always coming back to Chicago. I like it. I like Chicago. It's unfortunate what we have going on, and mostly, like I said, because I got a friend I met in Florida, a real good friend. We kept in touch, and I've been begging her to come here, and she's scared to come here. And I said, it's not like what you see on TV. No. They're going to always start off the news with the worst of the worst. That's how our news is generated. Every channel, they go from the worst is happening. Then at the end, when someone may have turned, you might see a good story, a feel-good story. But for the most part, I was downtown last week. I go and I still, I watch, like they say, keep your head on the swivel. I use common sense. A lot of times I don't shop here in the city. I like the south suburbs, but I do take advantage of our lakefront and downtown. I hate the way at one time you'd be able to walk into Grant Park from any street you crossed over, be it Jackson, Adams, Washington. Now they got points that you got to go through a checkpoint. Our times has changed so much, and we're not the only city. Don't think it's just Chicago. But when you see that skyline, when they saw them sorry bears last week, every commercial they were showing downtown, they were here. Cloud Gate. They want to call it the Bing, but it's Cloud Gate. So we are still a very good city, and don't buy into the stuff when they talk about it's a shithole and that no one wants to come here. You go down Michigan Avenue, around Neiman Marcus, around the water tower. It's barely walking room. It's down there.
You know what, sister? I got another video that I'm going to play on. I think this is in regards to downtown Chicago and with the youth. So I'm going to play this right now.
ABC 7 data shows at least 54 people were shot and 7 were killed over the Labor Day holiday weekend. Now, the violence comes as President Trump threatens to deploy the National Guard to Chicago to crack down on crime. Now, the weekend violence includes 3 mass shootings, 2 of them in Bronzeville. We're told 1 person is in custody for that shooting at 36 in Cottage Grove. There will also be extra police patrols in the neighborhood. This all comes as President, or should I say Mayor Brandon Johnson, signed an executive order in response to the Trump administration possibly sending the National Guard to the streets of Chicago. Neighbors in Bronzeville shared mixed reaction to federal deployments to help address violence.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck shack our community and tell us when and how. No, we are all old enough. We can come together. We just got to put the guns down.
It's a really good idea. I think it would be better for the city. It keep our community safe. It's pretty bad. I think the National Guard being here is very, very good. To slow down. Like for me, I got kids. And I want to see the community better.
Current and retired guardsmen tell us the National Guard is trained for military combat, not policing crime. If troops were deployed in Chicago, military experts say they would be likely used to guard federal buildings. Now, as for the violence over the long weekend, police say investigations into all of the shootings are ongoing.
That's a lot of police force you got to use.
And, I would like to know, do you think it is wrong for the National Guards to come to Chicago and Illinois if they can curtail criminal activity, even by 1%, stop a possible homicide? Do you think what President Trump is talking about, do you feel that he's wrong? I'm saying the arrogance of Johnson and Pritzker to make the statement, we don't need your help, and their killings, going going on every weekend, if it can minimize it even by 1%, is he wrong?
Yeah, he wrong. Like the man said, with federal, what are they called? The police, what do you want to send in here? They're not
National
trained.
Guard.
Yeah, National Guards. They're not trained to do everyday civilian interacting, arresting, this and that. They're on a higher scale. Keep an eye if there was an arrest or, like a January 6th, okay, then you might need them when you got people scaling the building and breaking out windows and shooting, spraying bear spray with police and killing a couple of them. Yeah, you needed some kind of law and order there. We didn't get it. You come back to us when they say 54. And I know I'm going a little bit more deeper, but if someone in another state, you would think, damn, 54 people shot, were they just walking down the street? And I'm not, they did say there were 3 mass shootings. Okay, look at the surrounding incidents that led to that. You had, and there's nothing wrong with communities wanting to get back together. I think that was down in Bronzeville or somewhere. I think it may have been one of the public housing things that people were doing to get together, and somebody came and sprayed it up. What I don't like when they do report on the crimes or the killings, they don't come back and tell us.
Yes.
Or they don't tell us at the time. They know. Police know. And you can find out. You go to YouTube, anytime something happens on TV and I see a shooting on the expressway or I see something happening, I go right to YouTube because I'm going to get a breakdown of it. And I know it wasn't a random act. It was a beef going on. Now, if you said if they can even stop one killing, would it be worth them coming in? Well, our police can stop one killing. That's what they got the gangs unit for. It's unfortunate that they don't. I don't even know how to put this. The ones on 64th and King Drive, that stretch, they've pretty much all killed each other. Either they got killed here or they went to another state like King Vaughn. And I had this young man on my tier when I was working at the jail back at the time that he, beat that murder charge. That's a lot of it. It's tied into a lot of gang. When they go to Memphis, would you put the National Guard there or would you put them down in the Gold Coast? Would you put them down there around Trump Tower where he got his hotel residential building? Because I don't see him, because I told you, you had this conversation. My nephew is in Maryland, DC, and he says they're not coming in the community. They're down at the federal buildings. Who's messing with the federal buildings? It's a horse and pony show. It's smoke and mirrors. It's no other president. Again, you want to step in and have control of something, but you don't want to give us any financial help. But there's a lot. I go to YouTube and I started watching that when that young man, Carlton Weeks, Duck, got killed down there. And I was like, okay, just like I didn't know who this Kirk guy was that got killed the other day. I don't know him by name, but like I said, I worked in the system. I saw them all there, but I didn't pay no attention. I do watch the news every day. I just wasn't registering with me. But they've killed off each other, sad, over what? Like Spike made the movie. He came here and he said, I still don't know. Whatever that movie was. But when they advertised, we've had 50 or so killed, just like the young lady that did the release party, and they went and shot it up and killed the people coming out of her party. And people was like, she shouldn't have had it because of what she was involved in. Yes. And then I went and listened to some of her stuff, and I seen it on YouTube, and I was like, your friends came out to support you, but they lost their lives because for whatever reason, these young men and some women take this gang stuff so serious. I don't understand that to a fault.
Yes. And we have something in the chat room. Says they agree with you that the media loves to hype crimes that's going on in the city, and they fear the main agenda for the message of the people.
Yeah. And their fear is their main agenda. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's on all this media. It's all garbage now. It's like, I used to watch CNN a lot. I don't look at any of it because I see what they're doing. And, everything is fake now. It's just bad, the whole thing. But yeah, You get people like that. When I worked at CPD, and we had a young man there, and he was from Africa. And it was cool. And he said, back in my country, we just thought everybody was walking around on the street with a gun. Because that's all we saw.
Okay.
And this was working at the department in 1987.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He's like, yeah, that's how we saw America. That's how we saw him, because everybody was walking around with a gun.
Yeah. Let me take a recap. I hope that you have at least 15 more minutes, because I know your time is valuable. Can I hold you over?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm good.
Okay. And you're looking at the Underground Railroad podcast, and we do a television show that comes on every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. in Chicago, 10:30 Central Time, and you can see it on the internet. And plus, we have a YouTube platform, and we're discussing Sanctuary City, the National Guards, and Mr. Clark Kirk that got killed. And this is intriguing. I see that there's a lot of people that's looking on YouTube, and I appreciate it. Okay. And I don't know about the other social media platforms, because I can't keep tabulation. And this will be on television. Okay. You know what? My next question is to you. I'm going to play a video, and I'm going to set this up to where there are young people that are doing things downtown. And I would like for you to expand on that just a little more. And I'm going to play this video. Okay.
Chaos on the streets of Chicago over the weekend, with large groups gathering downtown. Joni has more now on how local leaders are responding.
Chicago police have been directed to strategize how they're going to deal with incidents like this as summer approaches. The rowdiness and violence that happened downtown over the weekend shocked people, and it's been seen all over the world on social media. Hundreds of teens and young adults were seen running in traffic on Michigan Avenue in the Loop, jumping on vehicles and smashing windows. Saturday night, 2 teens were shot. A 16-year-old in the arm, a 17-year-old in the leg, both taken to Northwestern Hospital. Police were trying to respond and escort people to safety, but drivers were trapped, and one woman told our Dane Placco that her husband was driving their car and he was beaten.
Their windows down, and the guys put in their face like
they were hitting him in the face.
So my God is like that.
How's your husband? Is he okay?
I don't know.
I'm from Chicago, and I understand kids having a good time, but this is simply bad parenting. We have to do better as parents. Our kids should not be out here. Where are their parents at? That's my question. Why aren't they asking where their kids are at right now? Are they tracking them? Do they see his behavior? This could easily be something very, very terrible.
There were numerous statements issued by elected leaders. Mayor Lori Lightfoot said that parents need to be responsible for their children. Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson said it is not productive to demonize the youth. Also on Friday, a 14-year-old was shot at 31st Street Beach. Joni Lum, Fox 32, Chicago.
Okay, Joni, thank you.
So, my response to you is, your aldermen and your state representatives have failed. Okay, I'm just giving, image and projection, showing video, showing there were young people that were overrunning downtown Chicago and destroying downtown Chicago. And you're saying that the National Guard should not come and give any help whatsoever, and they being overrun. Can you expand on that?
Do you think the National Guard can do what in that situation? First, they got to know where it's going to be taking place at. And the one thing you said out of that, you went from the mayor to your state representative, and who didn't you mention? Who didn't you mention? The parent.
No, that was mentioned on the video. That was mentioned on the video.
Yeah, because the young lady said, the parents, do you know where your kids are down here? Okay, the National Guard. Have we had any lately? I'm just trying to see what would be their role. Where would they? What are they? Because they're not talking with the current law enforcement here. There's no communication. That may be done on the part of the president. They don't want any. I just want to send them in, and they're gonna answer to who or do whatever. They need to know the layout. I don't know who would do it, but I'm trying to figure out. You mentioned all the elected officials, and you never said anything about a parent.
Oh, I said something about I said that earlier, that the parents ought to be held accountable. But I'm saying, downtown is being overrun. You're saying they don't need any more assistance from the federal. And I think that your mayor, and I think that the governor Pritzker, it's an arrogance to say, you know what, man, we put them downtown. We going to what your grandfather was doing. Put it in the chat room.
Okay.
Any message for your grandchildren? Great.
Because I happen to have known someone who was in the NSA.
Okay.
All right? And they don't know what they'll know now. I've been in their building with him. Did you ever see it?
Yes, sir.
And they,
some people don't know what NSA.
The National Security Administration. And when I walked up in there and seen that, wow. They got video screens. I mean, from here to 35th Street.
Those street cameras, right?
Those are the screens like you watch on a computer.
Right.
All right? They got a room where they listen to conversations all around the country. All right? That's why I can say what I said. But they let me go because he was an important person. And they figured if he was pregnant, it was all right. All right? They made a mistake, but I never forgot that.
Well, wait a minute, wow.